Yes guys, what's going on? It's Ashton here. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my personal warm-up routine for Apex Legends that I use every day before going into matches. Today's video is in fact sponsored, so there will be a quick message from our sponsors before we get into today's video. So take this time to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more regular Apex Legends content from your boy. Today's video is sponsored by Frag Pro Shooter, the best mobile shooter game of 2020, designed specifically for mobile devices with over 30 million players. The aim of the game is to destroy the two bunkers as quickly as possible to gain access to the tower, destroy it and win the game. There are over 80 unique characters to collect with their own unique strengths and roles in the game. You then pick your favourite 5 and approach the game with your own strategy, attack or defense. In-game you control one character at a time but can switch whenever you want and have the option to play in first person or third person mode. And now with the new 2v2 mode you have the option to partner up with a friend or a random teammate and fight against 2 other real people with 3 characters of your choice while your partner gets the other 3 characters. Make sure to click the link in the description to download Frag Pro Shooter today on mobile devices and receive a free reward set of 1 gold chest, 500 coins and 50 diamonds. But with all that being said guys, let's get right into the video. So guys, the first step is of course to load up that firing range and take in its natural beauty. You're going to be spending a lot of time in this place over the next few days. Now the first thing I like to do upon loading up into the firing range is usually grab my preferred loadout, or usually just an R99, load it up with attachments and get my hands warm, because the first thing that I always notice when going onto the Xbox or PlayStation, whatever console it is, doesn't matter. When you've got cold hands, you're not going to be playing well. So the first thing you want to be doing is warming those hands up. And for me, the best way to do that is just to grab your favorite gun, load it up with attachments, run around, sprint around, crouch spam, hit as many targets as you can for as much damage as you can until your hands feel a little bit warmer. Of course, you don't want to be jumping up into a pub match with cold hands, cold fingers, where they're going to be stiff and you're not going to be able to make those smooth movements that you really want to be making. So that's the first thing I always do, is grab an R99 and load it up with attachments, run around, shoot the targets and just get my hands warm. Now make sure whilst you're warming up your hands and shooting those standing targets that you are strafing and crouch spamming to help get it into your subconscious mind that that is something that you want to be doing all of the time anyway. I know there are some players who really don't incorporate enough strafing and crouch spamming into their regular game, so make sure whilst you're shooting those standing targets that you are crouching and strafing, as of course the firing range is the best place to practice these kinds of movements. Now once I feel like my hands are warmed up and ready to move on to the next step, what I like to do is take off all of the attachments on my R99 and move back a few feet so that we're now at a mid to long range and try my best to one clip the standing targets. Now you are really going to feel the difference once you've done this, because of course you've just been playing with the fully kitted R99 and the gold barrel makes such a big difference on recoil control, but now you've taken it off, now you've taken off every attachment, you're really going to feel the difference in that R99, especially with the 7 less bullets as well now that you have no extended light mag, and one clipping these targets from this kind of range, it can be really difficult. Usually while doing this I'll set myself the goal of hitting at least 150 damage on the targets. I won't be so hard on myself to one clip them at this point in time, however I would highly recommend doing this for as long as you can until you start hitting at least 150 damage on these targets consistently. Now once I'm done with this, the next drill I do is probably the best way to increase your accuracy on Apex Legends, and that is to shoot the furthest moving target with an R99 with absolutely no attachments on it at all. All credit for this one goes to Zeus Resurrected for making a video on this one a couple of months ago, and it really has helped me improve my aim, because of course you get no aim assist on the moving targets compared to the red dummies. As you can see here, there just is absolutely no aim assist at all on these moving targets, which really forces you to control your recoil and control your aim a lot more than when you're shooting these standing dummies. And of course the moving target is harder to hit, 1 because it's moving and 2 because of just how far away it is, so this is a really big test of your accuracy and recoil control. This one takes a very long time to master, but until you can hit those 200s and 150s consistently, I really suggest sticking with it and making sure that you practice so that you can hit those big beams, because it's really going to help you remember with muscle memory how to control the weapon that you're using. Now, the last practice that I've been doing recently is to wall bounce off the back of one of the weapon racks, one clip the first dummy, quickly switch to the secondary weapon, and try and one clip the second dummy from mid-range. Now, this sounds easy in concept, but when you've got no attachments on your weapons, you have to make sure you hit all of your shots. And also, making sure you hit the wall bounce as well is another thing that is really helpful to practice for. Now, wall bouncing is something I've personally been trying to incorporate into my game, so that's why I've been doing this practice myself. I also think it's very good for reaction times as well. The quicker that you can switch weapon and one clip the second dummy, the better, so you should always be trying to do that as quick as possible. It's not easy to do this first try. You will need to practice this for a while to get it down properly, but I just find it's really good for increasing my reaction speed and just reminding me to utilize wall bounces more in game. Now, it's after having done all of this that I would recommend grabbing a friend and running some 1v1s with them. This is always going to be the best form of practice for yourself, especially if you can get a teammate who is of a similar skill level to you. Now, luckily for me, one of my best friends is Nacho's Killer, who is absolutely cracked at Apex Legends, and running 1v1s with him always helps me because I know I can't make a single mistake against him because I know he will punish me. Now, the rules we like to run with these 1v1s are that shield swaps are available, so we like to play off of the shield swaps, one behind us, one in front of us, and usually just like to shield swap if we can. We obviously don't pop cells or batteries or anything like that. And we also run R99 with no attachments, because if you can master the R99 without attachments, in game when you find those attachments, it's only going to make it easier for you to use the weapon. Make sure when you're running 1v1s that you don't get upset when you're losing. Sometimes I lose more than I win as well, and sometimes Nacho will lose more than he wins. That's just how it is. It doesn't make that player better than you or worse than you, and ultimately that is not what running these 1v1s are about. It really is just to improve your accuracy against a similarly skilled player. Once all of that is done and out of the way and you're ready to jump into some games, my next and last piece of advice is to just practice running these games for as long as possible and try your best not to get frustrated with the game when it is not going your way. Sometimes playing Apex, things just don't go your way, and that's not always down to having not warmed up properly or not being a good player. Sometimes you just don't get the roll of the dice, and unfortunately that is how it is for all of us. Now, of course, some of us are better than other players, that is obvious here. But what I'm trying to say is don't give up if you're having a bad day, and try your best not to get frustrated, because of course when you get angry and frustrated at the game, you're gonna ultimately play worse, and that's not always down to you being worse as a player. Sometimes it's just the mentality that you have behind yourself that really holds you back. Now, by running these warm-up techniques, you're not going to get better instantly. You're not going to get better in a week or probably even a month. Yes, you will see some progression over that time, but you have to put the hours in on this game. The hours, the days, the weeks, the months, if you want to see any sign of real progress. You're not going to become a god overnight, and unfortunately, just like all things in life, you need to put the time in if you want to get anywhere on Apex Legends. But guys, that is all I've got for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. Try to apply these training techniques before you go into matches as well, and let me know if they help you in the comments below. Also, let me know the kind of content you want to see coming up on the channel in the next few weeks. I've got a few really cool ideas coming up for you guys, so make sure you stick around, like the videos, and subscribe to the channel for more regular Apex Legends content from myself. But until next time guys, it's been your boy Ashton, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, and goodbye.